Welcome to my live stream today. I'm Kendra with Soulful Success by Design, and I wanted to come and have a conversation with you today about trust. I've been talking about it for the past, week or so, but I want to share with you what I believe about trust. And I believe that trust is trusting yourself, like trusting you is a spiritual practice. It's something that when we were first brought into this world, right, we naturally trusted ourselves. We didn't question things. We didn't doubt ourselves. We weren't worried about what the other person thought of us. We weren't worried about making the wrong decision. We really had this energy of just curiosity and wonder, and we trusted ourselves. Sure, we needed our parents there to make sure that we, didn't do anything that was going to cause us harm. But at the end of the day, we really had this deep connection with ourselves, right? So we lose that along the way somewhere, right? We lose it along the way when we are told narratives and stories about who we are or how we're supposed to show up in this world. And we take those stories and those narratives on and we begin to identify with them. We begin to create this identity around the story, around this narrative. And in doing so, we begin to create this disconnect with the truth of who we are, right? We stop trusting ourselves so much because we're afraid that we're going to mess it up. What if I do it wrong? What if it's not right? What if this happens? What if that happens? And so I want to talk to you today about trusting yourself, because we say that all the time. We hear people say, just trust yourself. And I say it as well. But what you may be wondering is, okay, well, how do I do that? Right? You probably really do want to trust yourself, and you really do want to tune in and tap into your own wisdom and make decisions and take steps from there. But maybe it feels hard for you, right? And I totally get that. So what I want to share with you is this. Number one, when you begin to understand who you are, when you begin to remember who you are, because this is what it's about remembering who you are. When you begin to remember who you are, and you begin to tap into the truth of who you are, thank you for the love bubbles, being able to trust yourself becomes a little bit easier, right? And this is why I love human design. Because with human design, you're literally given a blueprint of your energetic makeup, right? And through this, you can clearly see where it is that where your natural influence lies, where your natural strengths lie, where your natural way of operating in this world lies. You see that clearly. But what it also shows you is that it shows you also where you may be a bit vulnerable to outside influences, right? To expectations of those people outside of you. Hey, Rochelle, I love that you love this. I'm glad you're here with me live. So your human design energetic blueprint will show you this. What we tend to do is we tend to get lost in those parts of ourselves where we are most conditioned, right? We get lost in that. And that conditioned part of us is not who we are. It's who we have created. It's the identity that we've created in order to survive, so we think, right? And so when you begin to peel back those layers and begin to see oh, okay, wait a minute, I understand now why I may be thinking this, why it feels so hard for me to communicate and speak my truth, why I feel so bombarded by heavy emotions, by these intense emotions. Oh, now I get why it is so hard for me to follow through and finish the thing, and why I'm not consistent when I want to be consistent. And it's all because of these narratives, right, that are within your energetic makeup, they're like programs, right, that are informing your action. And what I want to remind you today is that there was a point in your life where you trusted yourself. And I invite you to ask yourself that question. What are some experiences in my life when I really trusted myself? And let me be very clear here. Trusting yourself doesn't mean that it's not going to feel scary. It doesn't mean that it's not going to, make you nervous. It doesn't mean that that it's not going to be uncomfortable, because it is going to be uncomfortable, right? I myself am in a place right now where my heart and my intuition is telling me what my next, leap is to take. But yeah, it makes me nervous, right? But this is where we get to decide what we're going to listen to, right? What voice are we going to listen to? Like yesterday, I made a post that said, you can trust the voice of fear, or you can trust the voice of love or faith, right? So which voice are you going to put your trust in? And sometimes we're human. We put our trust in the voice of fear, right? But what I want to bring to you today is I want to invite you to trust in the voice of your intuition. Of your intuition. So earlier this year, for my 40th birthday, I went skydiving. I went skydiving, y'all. And let me just say, like, skydiving has been something that has been in my heart since I was in my early 20s. Like, I wanted to do it. I knew that I wanted to do it. It was something that I just knew within that I wanted to do. I knew it was an experience that I wanted to take myself on. And I finally did it. Excuse me. I finally did it this year on my 40th birthday. And let me just say, that was like the biggest, test of my own self-trust and my own level of faith, right? Because I was trusting in myself that I could actually move through the whole entire process and actually jump out of a plane, right? And trust that the parachute's going to open, all the things. But it taught me something, right? It taught me that yes, you're still going to be nervous, you're still going to be a little afraid, all those things, but it taught me it showed me that I knew how to move through it, right? And this took practice. Like, there are practices that I put in place for myself every single day. There are things that I do for myself every single day to help bring myself back to my center, to help bring myself back to who I am, to remembering the truth of who I am, right? And I employed those practices, right? I did those things. I visualized. I used my imagination to see a beautiful, amazing outcome of this experience that I've been wanting to experience for most of my life, right? And I visualized and I saw the outcome. I saw that it was amazing. I saw that I was happy. I saw that it was exhilarating. I saw that I was proud of myself. And sure, there were moments where little, nuggets of fear tried to creep in there, but I was adamant. No, I'm choosing to focus on the outcome that I desire. I'm choosing to trust that this is going to go perfectly well for me, right? And it did. It went amazing. I had the most amazing instructor that went with me. The hardest part was actually stepping foot onto the plane. Because once I got on the plane, I'm not even kidding you, the fear dissipated. Like, I wasn't nervous anymore. I wasn't fearful about anything. I was just so excited that I was about to do something that I had wanted to do my whole life. And this is the interesting thing that happens whenever you trust yourself and you take the step. You begin to realize that what you were afraid of was so, small. You're like, why was I even worried about that? Why was I so fearful of this? Oh my gosh, that was such a waste of time, right? The things that you were fearful of begin to look like ants on the ground, right? Instead of this big, giant, mountain in front of you. And I say that trust is a spiritual practice because when we're trusting, you can't actually see the physical manifestation just yet of the thing that you're trusting in. You can't see it. Now, as humans, we're wired to want to be able to see things before we take that step. So being able to tune into your higher self, to tune into your intuition, to tune into your heart, and to see the vision that you have for your life, your business, whatever it is, and then to take the steps that are going to help you create that vision and bring it into this physical world, that is an act of faith and trust. You can't see it just yet, right? But you know it in here. And that takes you really fortifying yourself, really building yourself up, doing the inner work, doing the mindset work, right? Writing in your journal, setting the intention, visualizing what you desire to come forth. Putting yourself in the energy that it's already done and it's already happened, right? Speaking to yourself who you are and the truth of who you are. Getting yourself support if you need that support by a coach or a mentor. Reading the book, it requires your focus. But here's what I want to ask you. Is your dream, is your vision worth the time that it will take you to do all the things I just said? And more than likely your answer is yes. Yes, it is worth it. Your dream is worth it. Your vision is worth it. If you can see it, if you can feel it, if you just have in it, even just this inkling within your heart, within your soul, that what you want to do, that what you want to do is for you, any inkling of that, any desire that you have, then it means that you have the ability to actually create the thing. And you get to trust that. So I want to invite you to trust your journey and to trust your process. And what that looks like, again, is keeping your eyes where you're going. And understanding that sometimes it's going to feel bumpy, it's going to feel uncomfortable, it's going to feel a little bit scary. You might question yourself, here or there. But when you understand, this is where it circles back to human design, but when you understand your unique makeup, how you are designed to interact with this world, you're able to see more clearly how to actually, there we go, we're back. You actually learn how to do that, right? So your human design, when you understand it, when you begin to embody it, becomes a powerful tool for you, right? Human design is not a belief or a faith or anything like that. It is a tool that you can use to help ground yourself in your own self-trust, right? And you do this little by little, right? So how can you trust yourself more today? That is I find, right? And someone else would disagree, but I find the biggest thing, the biggest roadblock that's in our way of really manifesting and creating the dream and the life and the business that we desire is we don't really trust ourselves, right? And that trust can be rooted in lack of worthiness. It can be rooted in, not really believing in yourself, right? But it's like trusting in your vision. That's the root of it. Like you don't really quite trust in it yet. And so how can you support yourself in cultivating and building up your trust muscle? Because it is a muscle. And when you do that and you begin to take these actions, you begin to take these leaps of faith, and you begin to really show up for your life and for your business, right? Your trust increases, you're doing the thing. What happens is you find yourself stepping into a space of flow where things don't even feel hard anymore. There are things that I do now where I'm like, I cannot believe I used to make this so difficult. Where now it's just easy. It's easy. Right? I could, if I wanted to, make me doing a Facebook Live hard as hell. I could think about, oh my gosh, what if I forget my words? What if the connection's not good? What if no one understands what I'm saying? What if I do this? What if I do that? And I can just keep myself spinning all up here in my head and make it really difficult for myself to actually press the go live button. But it's when we understand where our vulnerabilities lie and our conditioning, that's when we can tackle them, when we can look them head on, and we can transform them into our wisdom. We can transform them into the thing that actually propels us forward, right? So I want you to ask yourself this question and answer me in the comments below if you choose to. How can you trust yourself a little bit more today? How can you begin the process of trusting yourself a little bit more today? And if you desire support around this, my Trust and Flow Play Shop is happening on Thursday. It's happening on Thursday. I'll leave the link for you in the comments after the live so you can check it out. But it's a 3-hour play shop that's designed to support you in activating your unique human design so that you can trust yourself like you've never trusted yourself before, and begin to create the kind of flow and ease that you desire, whether it be in your life or your business, right? So I'm going to take you through, I'm going to break down with you your human design chart, right? So this is only for a small, intimate group of people, right? So we're going to decode your strengths, your wisdom, and your vulnerabilities so that you can show up with clarity, confidence, and personal power. I'm going to show you how to untangle and release any resistance you have so that you can tap into the beautiful state of flow with a confident dose of self-trust. We're going to look at decoding and understanding the influence that you're here to carry out in the world so that you can create the impact that you know that you're here to create. And we're also going to demystify your innate decision-making authority so that you can make moves, like big moves in your life and business from a space of certainty, right? And so we're going to do all that in the span of this 3-hour play shop. So I'd love for you to join me if you feel called to trust that nudge and say yes. It's $195 for 3 hours. But we're going to have a lot of fun. So Rochelle says where she can trust herself more is following her gut on my heart instead of my head. Yes. The journey from the head to the heart is the most gratifying and beautiful journey. And so I invite you on this journey. And maybe you're already on the journey, right? But if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments. How can you trust yourself more today? All right. So thank you all so much for watching, for being here with me, for listening, sharing, and commenting. If you have questions, leave them for me, and I'll talk to you maybe another time again this week. Have a beautiful day, everybody.